Character development, character agency, characterization. These are going to be topics or terms you hear over the next 48 or so hours just because of everything Sanji is doing in this chapter. Okay, people, if you read One Piece chapter 1031, you good. If you have not, you will probably be spoiled because that's what we're going to be covering. Not the entire chapter, obviously. This is the most, or rather the more focused version. And today we're focused on Sanji. Who is he? What is he? What does he want? What does he need to be? What is necessary for his character? So, I mean, you guys know I'm a Sanji fan, a huge Sanji fan, and I appreciate the character for all of the dichotomy and just the contradictions that it presents, but I love him and I appreciate the character. Because these things he goes through, these ups and downs, these highs and lows, these peaks and valleys, it's life. That's how we go through life. We feel the same shit. We have peaks and we have valleys. So sometimes we relate to Sanji's character. Sometimes he's very unrelatable, but other times I just see so much of myself in him in different ways. I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what, but personally, that's one of the reasons why I like Sanji. And also, you're going to hear a lot of people saying, well, Sanji's a great character or Sanji's a good character. And you know, the more that you're on the internet, the more you hear that. And the more I think to myself, why does that even fucking matter? Okay, I get it. The more you read manga, the more you watch anime, the more you become enthralled by things like that. You wonder, okay, is this character that I like a good character because that makes me someone of elite taste? Am I one of the different ones? Do I have impeccable taste? And why I'm saying why it matters is because, bro, at the end of the day, if a character is a good character or not, what matters is if you like the character. Yes, you have your savants that tell you, hey, this character is not a good character objectively, which is in itself very hard to prove because, for instance, Sanji is objectively a good character. People will tell you. But then there are severe flaws and contradictions in the character that the experts and people that specializes in this field can point out. Does it change how I view Sanji? No. But sometimes these people can be persuasive. I mean, personally, it doesn't matter to me whether Sanji is a good character or not objectively, because at the end of the day, as an author, if I'm an author, I don't care if you think my characters are good or not. I just care whether or not you like my characters. And more often than not, we like One Piece characters until they're not supposed to be liked. And even then, we still like them. Akainu is not supposed to be liked. He's supposed to be feared, detested because of what he did to Ace and how he did it. Akainu has a lot of fans, myself included, and I am a huge Ace fan. Why? Because I just like the character. I like how he went about his business. I like his devil fruit. I liked his voice actor in the anime. It is just that simple. And so therefore, this is not whether or not Sanji's a good character or not, because honestly, I could care less. This is literally about Sanji and his decisions. Who is this character? What does he want? What is Oda trying to accomplish with this man? All right, so me personally, I'll tell you guys about something back in the day. And one of my friends reminded me of this. I forgot about how I felt about this. And this is, again, before Whole Cake Island. This is back probably in around Dressrosa. We would have long discussions about the chapters, and somehow we stumble upon Sanji. And they're like, bro, do you like Sanji? I say, yeah, I like Sanji. There are moments about Sanji that I hate or that I really don't like. And they're like, what? Well, I said, I hated when Sanji kicked Luffy in Water 7. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, I don't think Sanji should have kicked his captain. I felt like that was disrespectful. And how I was raised was like, don't ever put your foot on someone that you respect or something that you respect. So therefore, Sanji kicking Luffy, for me, it lacked respect. But as time passed, I understood the situation, and you could argue Luffy went too far, so Sanji subsequently went too far as well. He would never kick his captain again. Contraire, he did. He did actually in Whole Cake Island. Now, Sanji's one of those characters. Very polarizing, because there are traits that you adore, but then there are other things that you wish they would just wither away and die. Now, him hitting women, that has always been the hot topic. Oh man, I can't wait till Sanji hits women. He's holding back the Straw Hats. That is a severe flaw in his character. Why would Oda do this? You know the worst part about this? This even got into the video games. Have you guys ever played One Piece Burning Blood? Do you know that Sanji could not hit women in a video game? That was absolutely despicable in my opinion. Because why? Now, through the years, you've come to learn that that's just part of Sanji's character. He does not hit women, and he will not hit women because morally that's the type of man he is. He's chivalrous, even though he can be a pervert and a creep, and he respects women enough to say, I won't put my hands on them, because again, that's a part of who he is. That's why I talked about in the review that Sanji's sense of self, it is really important to him. That's why when he ran away from Queen, I said, guys, wake up! Stop tripping. This is not a bad thing. What is wrong with y'all? Saying Sanji's trash. You're running away yet again from another fight. He's losing himself. Have you guys ever lost yourself or felt lost within yourself? Felt like you don't know who you are? Literally, as humans, that's what we're doing every single day. We're trying to find ourselves. And for Sanji, he felt like he found that. He found his purpose through Zeph. And then, of course, from his mother's sacrifice, keeping him human, retaining these ever so valuable emotions. Judge tried to talk down on Sanji, saying all the bad things about him. You're not a good soldier. You're not durable. You don't listen. You're stubborn. And then Luffy said, why is he listing all the good things about you? And again, these things that people try to talk down on, these are great things about Sanji's character, because again, Sanji is not a blonde Zoro. So I'm not going to view them the same way. I love both characters probably equally, and they're completely different, but they both have traits that I adore, traits that I enjoy, and they're both going to shine in different ways. Now I see people already comparing Sanji's development to Zoro's development. Guys, no, they're different. They're going to grow differently, because at the end of the chapter, what Zoro said is how Zoro communicates that he cares. He said, no matter what, I'll be there. I'll make it swift. Just don't die. Telling Sanji pretty much just don't die. Zoro will never kill Sanji, but you can tell that he cares in that moment, and Sanji cared enough to reach out to Zoro to tell him that. Their relationship is nothing short of majestic, but you guys try to make it a competition every single fucking time. That's not what this is about today, though. Sanji, he's losing himself. This is something that I said would be amazing if Sanji struggled with his sense of self. I never thought Oda would touch this with a 10-foot pole, because it's difficult, because now you're messing with your audience. What I mean is, Oda is presenting concepts or thoughts that the audience has had for a long time. Sanji, what if he didn't hit women? Sanji, what if he was augmented? What if this dichotomy was always present within the character? These are concepts fans have talked about for a long time. Now, the Germa thing, that's fairly new, but when we found out Sanji was a part of Germa, that was the main thing people were talking about. Hey, what if Sanji is augmented? What if he was already augmented? What if he becomes augmented? What then? How do you feel about the character then? Now, personally, people have been fighting with Sanji using the raid suit and how he goes back and forth in regards to duty and sense of self. Now, personally, I did not like how he chose duty over sense of self, because that's not how the character has always operated. But I accepted it, especially based on his speech in Whole Cake Island, or rather, once he got to Wano, he accepted it, saying he was going to choose duty. He was going to become raid suit Sanji for the sake of the Straw Hats, because he has to save them. Now they're saying, oh, he's going back and forth again. I understand why you would say that, but do you understand what just happened? The raid suit has become expendable because Sanji now has naturally what the raid suit presented. My whole issue was always, how would Sanji persevere? How would he deal with the raid suit and his fighting style? We have never seen Sanji use the raid suit with his actual fighting style, with his Diablo Jambe, his Hell's Memories. Him fighting with the raid suit is a completely different beast. He's floating, he's using boosters, he has a cape, he's using invisibility, it's not his own power. He doesn't feel comfortable in the raid suit. Germa is everything he has stood against his entire life. They beat women. They don't have any emotions. They care about no one but themselves, and they are very prideful. Now, everyone has some sense of pride. Sanji does as well. However, Germa, what they represent is the opposite of Sanji. So now, Sanji, here we are. You've destroyed the raid suit, something that, listen, I am not mad at whatsoever, because again, I was never a fan. I had accepted it, but I was never a fan of the raid suit. I wanted Sanji to grow, boost his skills in different ways, not to get a raid suit, especially one that he hated, but I accepted it. Now it's gone, presumably, unless Usopp has already made a copy. It's gone, but Sanji's already augmented. Now, he felt like if he continued to use the suit, he will continue to lose his sense of self. I hope that gets explained further, but now, again, it brings us to Sanji. Where do we go from here? What makes the most sense? Well, if he hit that woman, I love it from a character development standpoint, because now you have to live with the fact that you broke your iron rule. You said you would never hit women. However, you could excuse it saying, I wasn't myself. But how will you become yourself? Is this a thing that will continue where at some point with your head being foggy, you will just lose yourself? I would love it if it continued even throughout Wano and after Wano. But is it resolved here? Does Sanji find himself here? Because you guys know the issue. He's running from himself. He's running from the fact that he's a Germa 66 soldier, augmented soldier now, but that's not who he wants to be. So now who you are versus who you want to be, they're fighting against each other. And that's something you never want to do. You never want to be fighting against yourself, because guess what? Nobody wins. You lose either way. So I'm so torn and I'm so happy about this Sanji development. Not literally, but this development in the story, because it solidifies for me why I love this character. He's always presented with a set of options where he has to think and choose and pick, and character decisions and how a character lives, how a character carries themselves. It's really important to me because sometimes characters are protected and they aren't put in situations where they have to make difficult decisions. So then those are easy characters to like. You could understand why someone would love Zoro. He's an easy character to like. Sanji isn't easy to like. Well, Sanji, I guess, is easy to like. He's an easy to love. Time and time again, decisions, confusion. I'm confusion every time I think about Sanji and some of the decisions he's made. Some of the things, some of the conclusions he comes to. So now he's asking the question, Luffy, which man do you want for me? I've always been a liability when it comes to women. But for me, as a soldier of science, I can easily dismantle Queen, a commander of a Yonko. The answer is obvious to us. However, does Sanji even have a choice? Could you even go back to being a liability? He doesn't even know that. Of course, in my opinion, it plays out where Sanji does remain augmented, but does retain his sense of self, but he has to find a way to get there. Does that come from acceptance? Do you finally accept the fact that you are Vince Smoke Sanji? You are somebody that will forever be augmented, but if your mind sways, if your soul sways, then you lose your sense of self. And then Sanji, you cannot have any doubt. Accept it, own it, deal with it. It will come. You can't run away from it anymore. It is now literally a part of you. Remember what you know. Remember the people that you love. I, for one, was truly moved by this chapter because Oda is going there with Sanji. In my opinion, easily the best written character in the Straw Hats, but it doesn't really matter. I like all of them, but Sanji, I think he's the character in which things are the most difficult for. He's the character in which we have the most polarizing chapters. He's the character in which one chapter I hate him, one chapter I love him. The other characters, not so much. It's pretty, great or all right. For Sanji, sometimes really fucking good or sometimes really fucking bad. And sometimes that's how life is for us. Really fucking good or really fucking bad. Decisions, struggle, issues. We relate to that. That's why Garp is the best character in One Piece by consensus. Objectively, you could fiddle with how many categories that you want to. But in my opinion, Garp is the best character in One Piece. But it comes down to, again, decisions. Do I save Ace or do I pick my career, my job that I've been doing for most of my adult life? Or do I save my grandson, someone that I've raised, someone that I wanted to grow up to become just like me, if not better? What do I do? Ace, I told you, please. Now Sanji, here we are. He knows what Luffy would love. He knows it, but how? He doesn't even know himself right now. Can you imagine the struggle, the pain? Sanji has been running away from this Germa thing his entire life, and now it is literally staring him right in the face because he has become the thing that he hates, and he's losing his sense of self. He has hit a woman. He looked in her eyes and he saw fear. He saw hurt, pain, something he never wanted to see. This is heavy, and I hope you guys take this with the seriousness that Oda, I think, is approaching it with, and appreciate what he's doing, because I think now we're touching on the things that I really love and I really adore about characters and character development. This isn't necessarily development. I think it's more just a character moment, but we gotta wait and see. But guys, those are my thoughts on Sanji. Who is he? He doesn't know, so how the hell could we, right? But guys, give me thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. What do you feel about Sanji? Tell me your honest thoughts below about Sanji right now, because those are mine. I love him. I'm waiting for his decision, and boy, it gets better and better. But guys, again, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Again, guys, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.